a song, if you can see me yet. Hi. There we go. I think it's doing something weird. Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is the Bushwick Book Club. And I'm actually going to check the link right now because what's coming up on my thing is a completely different show. So you can text me, everyone who's watching right now, to tell me, oh no, you're live. You don't have to be a fool on screen right now. I don't. I see myself right here. I was just being the fool for fun. All right, so you guys, today we have an awesome author. I was lucky enough to do this show in New York. It is William Melvin Kelley, and he is a pretty amazing author who came out years and years ago. I'm terrible with dates, but he is no longer with us. But his work is being republished, and this book of short stories, Dancers on the Shore, has recently come out again. And it's a collection of short stories, and they're really great to read. He is wonderful with words. While I was reading it, I kept thinking, why wasn't this part of our school literature growing up? Because he's fantastic. And my dad was the English teacher, so I'm going to take it. He's upstairs right now watching on his TV. So I'll take that up with him after this show, because this is an author that should be heard, and he's a minority voice. And it's obviously we need more of those. So I'm not going to speak a lot because I had turkey on Thursday and I'm still trying to get over it. But I do have wine, because I want everyone, maybe grab yourself a glass of wine after Gunnar. When I start talking again is the best time to do that. Because this is a more intimate show. There's less songwriters today. I'm really actually surprised at how many songwriters we do have on holiday weekends. So relax with us. I'm going to try to relax. I get a little wound up during these shows. So I'm going to try to bring myself down. So our first songwriter, writing his song about Dancers on the Shore, one of the short stories by William Melvin Kelley, is Gunnar Larrson. And if you don't know our shows, this is where I spend a really long time searching for a spotlight. Add a spotlight. Now we're both on.
All right.
Let me take myself off. Remove there you go. You're on.
Okay. Yeah, I actually, I didn't write about a specific short story. I wrote about the whole book of short stories somehow. So you'll see. Where do you come from? Did you sail across the sea? Was your mother proud? Was it obvious to see? Do you know my name? Has your talent got to waste? Think of family, does it leave a bitter taste? Are you in denial? Have you ever killed someone? Do you live a lie? Has your trouble just begun? Is it yet too late? Do you want to settle down? Think of liberty. Does it cut you in the ground? Well, I owe my life to the skin I'm in, but I'm not too proud to repent my sins. That's how we roll in the city. That's how we roll in the city. Are you in a bind? disconnected from your tribe. Has the time arrived? Are you waiting for your life? What will you regret? Does it matter if it's mine? Think of unity. Will there ever be a time? Well, I owe my life to the skin I'm in, but I'm not too proud to repent my sins. That's how we roll in the city. That's how we roll in the city. That's how we roll in the city. That's how we roll in the city.
Yeah! Great song.
Thanks.
Awesome job. That's how we roll in the city. I have like so many production ideas for your song, and I'm going to prattle on about them for a minute, just because now's the time somebody can get a glass of wine or juice or something if they'd like to, as I promised in the beginning. It'll be like a minute, but it kind of, it seemed like there should be like an epic Phil Collins drum, like but like after the first, that's how we roll in the city. Does anybody else hear that? Is it just me?
I was thinking that distorted guitar made me think of like Neil Young. I could imagine it as a Neil Young song very much.
Oh, we went completely different directions.
Very powerful.
It's got a lot of potential. Just so everybody knows watching, because somebody pointed this out to me, which I didn't even consider. I've still got you spotlighted, Gunnar. So just
That's fine.
chatting. There's like new features in the Zoom that I can take advantage of, and plus I don't know how to use them, so it takes me a while to get you off the screen as well. But we are all the songwriters are on Zoom right now. So if you're watching and you hear people in the background, it's okay. We're all safe. That's people that we know that they're on Zoom, and we clap for each other because it's a little weird. We're used to doing this live, and it's a little weird when you stop playing and then you're like, am I still spotlighted? Are people watching? What's happening? So it's nice to have a little bit of applause, just like a real live in-person show, so you know, okay, somebody heard what I did. I'm out there. Okay, I'm gonna unspotlight you in a very smooth manner. The next songwriter is Justine Kragen, and she can introduce, if she chooses to, introduce her book in which short story she wrote it about. I think we used the same short story. Here we go. Replace Spotlight.
Aha. Hello. I started reading this book last night. I was like, can I do this? I'm going to try. So I started reading, and I got up to, I think it was like fifth or sixth short story, St. Paul and the Monkey. And so I wrote my song about that. It's sort of a kind of a love story gone wrong a little bit, I'd say. I didn't mean it when I said I was wrong. Tried to believe it. I tried to play along. When we were lovers, everything was fine. Out of the covers, we were misaligned. You social climbed, and I stalled for time. You think you love me, but you know what's true. I can't be half of me to complete you. have to leave you, 'cause this is not my home. I couldn't see you until you made it known. I couldn't be me, I couldn't sing my song, you couldn't hear me, we couldn't carry on. You played your hand, now I understand. You think you love me, but I know what's true. I can't be half of me to complete you. You think you love me, but I know what's true. I can't be half of me to complete you. Oh my God, I did it.
You did that last. You're on. You're
I
still-
mean, it was like, I just finished the words like an hour ago or something. So I'm like, I can't believe.
it's impressive. But I do the same thing. I think you and I are similar, where we wait till like the last minute to read an entire book and write a song and make it performance ready. But that was like pretty cool guitar work for last.
Thanks. Well, you know, every time I think I'm gonna flake. I just can't do it this week. I haven't done it. I'm gonna flake, and then I decide, well, I'll try. And then if it doesn't work out, then I'll flake. And then I keep trying, and
something comes out. And it's
it's kind of crazy.
It's funny. Okay, I'm gonna take you off. It's funny, while you were playing, I was thinking, oh, it's so interesting. We have totally different takes on this same story. Isn't that what the whole book club is? But because they're short stories, I forgot, like that's normally what we do, is it's everybody's interpretation and creation on top of somebody else's creation. But I was like, oh, so very similar ideas going on in the themes of it, but very, very different.
I'm interested to hear your take on it coming up.
All right, thank you, Justine.
Thank you, Stacy.
All right, so let's see. Up next we have Nicole Tourtelout. I love her last name, and I like take pride in myself whenever I say it right, because it sounds so awesome. Tourtelout. So without much ado, I'm going to replace my spotlight. Replace. You're on.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I loved this writer. I wrote my song about the short story called "What Shall We Do with the Drunken Sailor?" And I have to admit, the title, when I was looking through the stories, the title it got me, and I felt I had to write a song about it. And then I was reading it, and I was writing, there's so much subtext in this story. But essentially it's a guy trying to talk to a drunk person who's saying offensive things. And I feel like we've all been there. All right. Hey buddy, can you tell me where I am? Hey buddy, can you tell me where I am? On a wild chase to the wild place. What can you do with a drunken sailor. Hey buddy, can you tell me where I am? Rage overcame him. What can you do? Rage overcame him. What can you do? Like a hammering, like a typewriter, like a smoldering, like a burning building. Rage overcame him. What can you do? Rage overcame him. What can you do but send him home on a lonely chase for the lonely place? What can you do with a drunken sailor? Rage overcame him. What can you do? Hey buddy, rage overcame him. What can you do? Hey buddy, what can you do but send him home? Staggering home, staggering home, staggering home, like a burning building.
Woo! Yay!
That was beautiful. The first time you played for LA Bushwick, because you've done it in New York, right? That's how Susan kind of connected us, right? And the first time you played The Hidden Life of Trees and you played the ukulele, your voice with the ukulele, there's something about like the richness of it and the melancholy that I don't know, I love that. Do you have like albums with you on your ukulele and your voice?
No.
I want to hear it. I love it. Yeah, that was gorgeous. Thank you so much. I'm gonna unspotlight you so you don't have to have awkward conversation with me. Remove spotlight. Yes. I was gonna say, so when Justine was talking about how we sometimes, you put this off and you put this off and then it becomes like, will I bail? Or am I just gonna do this and see what happens? Often for me, that question is, how willing am I to fail completely in front of people? And sometimes I think that's okay. I mean, I have seen live shows in New York where people got halfway through or they wrote the lyrics on the subway. And sometimes it's really interesting to watch an artist sort of make stuff up kind of on the fly to get through it, because most people find some way to get through it, even if there's some hiccups. So anyways, that's just me talking because there's only 6 of us. So I'm just adding filler today. But I was thinking about that, what Justine said. I was like, I can't really bail because I get everybody together and host it. But I do realize that my level of being willing to fail horribly in front of people, it's my level of being willing. It's high. I'm really willing to do that. My level of being willing to fail is very high. So anyways, without further babbling, I'm introducing Richard Alwyn, and you are replacing me.
And so I don't even have to be self-deprecating now because you just completely set that up for this to fall apart. This is also, it's pretty experimental. And as I was kind of finishing it up last night, I thought, well, that's not where I want it, but that's the first step to getting it to where you want it. So this is about most of the songs, or most of the stories. Cry for Me makes an appearance, and The Servant Problem. And I don't know, let's all take a ride. I'm going to take these off here. Like everything I write or do, this is an audition, a draft. It's not quite there. It's subject to change, like everything else. My first intention was to write a song with elements of James Baldwin's The Black Boy Looks at the White Boy, where he talks about Norman Mailer. And then I thought of writing about wanting and having an American thought. Because I remember this line from Susan Sontag where she says it's not possible to want something and to have something at the same time. It's like that girl Carlisle was telling us about wanting some tail and getting it, and then feeling sorry because you no longer had it to look forward to. But then Carlisle reminds us that there's the memory, a nice memory to walk home with. That's to say nothing of the actual having, the times when a thing is happening, when what you've wanted is occurring. I think you can want to be comfortable, let's say, and then once you have that comfort, you can still want it and have it at the same time. I mean, maybe I'm being too simple or I've missed a point. I'm not sure. There's so many divisions between wanting and having in Dancers on the Shore. Irrational purse shakedowns, cops liking to pick on black folks. And I felt a sadness in almost every story. Some of the sadnesses are the ones that are human and eternal and within everyone except, I don't know, perhaps the very luckiest. But there's also another particular sadness there, a sadness that only gets recognized every generation or so by people who look like me. A sadness that, when you think about it, next to your ideas of America, can really make you feel that you've been a long way in a wrong direction. In another book club I'm in, we just read books and don't sing about them, and we read Caste by Isabel Wilkerson. She talks about the damage done to the entire society by the maintenance of the American caste system, paying for health care, for-profit prisons. It's criminal itself to see so clearly laid out almost 60 years later the truth of Baldwin's assessment that no society can smash the social contract and be exempt from the consequences, and the consequences are chaos for everybody in the society. And this chaos can make struggling white people see you moving forward as them moving backward. Pretty much any you, blacks, elites, immigrants. Could be argued that's a generous interpretation of their feelings, but I think it is a factor that has to be looked at more closely if a way is to be found to bring all people who are struggling together to work toward advancing everyone. Because until we can start to mend the social fabric of our country, the chaos of this inequality will continue to disrupt everyone's progress toward freedom. Thinking like that can get you labeled an idealist, but abandoning your ideals is just surrendering to someone else's ideals, or to the insouciant, ungoverned world. And more importantly, though we have control of almost nothing, we do have control over the generation and repetition of ideas. The generation and repetition of ideas, the repetition of ideas.
Sense of the Baz Luhrmann always wear sunglasses. You ever heard that? It was like a graduation speech, but it was way more poignant. Like, I mean, that is poignant as well, but this one had so many layers of stuff. So you're reading Caste? Someone just brought that book up.
It's great. It's incredible. I finished it, and it's. I mean, it references Baldwin and a lot of people, and I was so William Melvin Kelley's short stories had. I mean, race was so central to most of them, but it was really spoken about in this really subtle and graceful beauty, and I thought there were a lot of really amazing talking about the it was just really so well done, and I felt all the things that I was saying was super ham-fisted, but it was, I wished I could write something as moving about how moving his stories were.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's like just very, very good. Like that's what it was a weird moment of reading it. When I did read it, which was 2 months ago, because like I said, I kind of cheated. It's kind of cheating, but I just, as I was reading it, I was like, oh, you can tell when something is just so far above the rest, when something is classic, and it just in the way it expresses something, the words they can choose, how the points that are being made aren't just singular, they're broad, they're deep. You can get so many things out of it. You can go and you can't really go in one direction because it's too richly written. And when I was reading, it just made me like, sometimes you pick something up like that if you're not just reading classics. I mean, there's a reason they're classics, there's a reason things keep going. But this one, I was just like, this should be one of those things. This man should be at that level of just constantly being at the top of reading lists. Thank you. That was beautiful. And now I move your spot up. And it's me, and I've pretty much said all that I have to say right at the moment. So now we have Kyle Sobchak, who also goes by the name of Rupert Angeleyes. And let me.
Hello.
Okay, you're not on. Don't go. I can't figure myself out.
Give me that spotlight. I need that limelight. Gotta suck it in.
You're in right now.
Oh, I can see myself double time. That's wonderful.
You're there.
Yes. Straight off, I'd like to confess that I did not read this book at all, because I know that next month, December, the LA Bushwick Book Club will be reading Dune, which is a whopping 620 some pages. And so originally I thought I would take this month off. Kind of like Justine was saying, kind of like what you were saying, Stacy, like, I was like, well, I could flake in or flake out. I don't really know. So I decided to do a fun exercise with this book and not read it at all, but get the book and then just flip through random pages of the book and just find lines that I like and only use the lyrics for this song from like passages that I found. And kind of piecemeal them together, which is especially fun because it is a collection of short stories. So yeah, I have no idea what the book is about or what the author is about, but all of the lyrics are from lines that I ripped from the book itself. And so hopefully it'll relate to somebody, or I'm totally missing the point. I have no idea. It was fun either way though. Okay, it goes like this though. In pale light and blue pajamas, I notice that you're feeling sick. I pray to God you're doing all right, but your response is flat and thick. They come into my living room. An old man looks up wondering who is who. I take a break and walk around the block. I'm just taking care and taking stock, but it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. Now you're feeling cold all over. You sit heavily in your bed. You're gonna have half of a baby. You're picking fluff balls off your bedspread. Mama, I slept with someone, but I still have my bright white teeth. The gravy is getting cold, but it's hardening around the meat. But it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. Response
right. That's great.
I think I'm in this weird space now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're just a little echoey, but not too bad.
It's the reverb. It's the singer's reverb. That was
Reminded me of Lou Reed.
Is it too? No, it doesn't.
Oh yeah, I got a bad Velvet Underground habit, you know.
It's a good
I
habit.
stay away from that. I feel like I used to love reading all that stuff in like my early 20s, and I haven't written a song that's like classic, like I'm a old guy telling you how it is, New York City, you know. I try and stay away from that all the time, but this month it felt really good just to like
It was
indulge
great. It sounded great.
my young self and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna write a Lou Reed ripoff song. Who cares, you know?
It's kind of amazing what you can do by just grabbing random lyrics. Like, did you try to make sense of them? Because I made sense of them.
Yeah, I tried to
You
make
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, they made sense being pulled. I know I'm really echoey.
Did you connect them with some of your
I'm
own?
trying to jump on the Lou Reed train here.
I cheated a little bit. The first line, in pale light and blue pajamas, that's from the book. I noticed that you're feeling sick, that's from the book. And then the third line, I just had to like kind of like make something that kind of like rhymed, you know, tried to glue it together. So I made that up. And then the fourth line, where your response is flat and thick, then I used that one. And maybe I don't know what short story this was from, but this is all from the book. They come into the living room. An old man looks up, wondering who. I take a break around the block, and then I fit in one that was I'm just taking a break and taking stock just to make it rhyme. But yeah, I have no idea what this book is
It
about.
worked really well, I thought.
Yeah.
I was like, I need
I
to
was
get
singing
less
along.
precious with my lyrics and more interesting. Like,
Yeah.
Because there was such interesting imagery and it made
Yeah.
really good lyrics. Like there
Yeah,
was
I
the
mean-
one about the food on the plate or the side of something. It made
Oh
me-
yes, that one was really tied into Thanksgiving, and also that is straight from the book. And I love that line. The gravy is getting cold, and it's hardening around the meat. That's straight up from one of the short stories.
I think it's one of the ones I read. I do remember that sticking out to me, but there's like, I just had some connection, like, oh, it seems so deep. Like when you hear it in
Yeah,
a song,
I'm saying nothing.
it seems like it has
Everything.
some deep meaning, this gravy around like what's happening in this person's life that the gravy is hardening around the steak. They can't just eat it, or the turkey. All right, okay. That was awesome. I'm going to unspotlight you now. I'm going to unspotlight Justine. I had you spotlighted.
I saw that.
This takes me. All right. So I'm the last performer because we went in alphabetical order. Am I too echoey? Is it too crazy? Can't really tell in my headphones.
Sounds
I just sound awesome. I did write this song for the last book club, and I had the last one that I did of this book, because New York, London, I'm not sure who else is doing it, but New York and London have had their shows, and this is our show. We're all doing the same book, Dancers on the Shore, and I wrote a song for that, and I kind of screwed it up the whole time I played it, and so I had ambition to write another song. I was like, I'm so awesome, I'm gonna write another song to the same book, because it's short stories, so I read about a little more than half of them, and I was like, well, I'll finish reading them, and then I'll write a new song, and I didn't do any of that. In fact, I went to get this song yesterday, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy, I'll just play what I already played, and then I realized I didn't write down any of the chords. I was like, oh, I guess I'll rewrite the song I already wrote. So this was an experiment as well a couple months ago, because I was driving on a tractor for a while for a job, and I was listening to lynda.com, that library educational thing. You can go watch educational videos. And I was playing with song structure. There was one about song structure and about just kind of, it was giving all these different examples, and I was like, I really do verse, chorus, bridge, verse, whatever, chorus. And I was trying to play around with that when I wrote this song. And then it just got really hard to play because I wasn't doing any real structure. But I like some things about it, so I might keep working on it. But it's the same short story as Justine's song was, the Monkeys and St. Louis, Monkey. the Monkeys and St. Louis, I think.
St. Paul and the Monkey.
St. Paul and the Monkeys, just kind of the wrong place and reversed. But it's kind of about a relationship that it's working and they're going to get married, and then the guy starts to realize, well, he doesn't quite want the same. They're in college, and he doesn't want the same things he thought he wanted. He was going to be a lawyer, I think, or a doctor, something that, probably makes money. And then he's like, I'm going to be a writer. And she's like, what? And then at the engagement party, his sister's like, why are you marrying her? Because she doesn't really get you. And then he realizes that. And so that song's the song is about that. Maybe. We'll see what comes out.
It's easy here in bed, playing pretend, as if I am the person that you think I am. But lately I've had thoughts, maybe I'm inside a box here with you, and I'm not true to myself. Love, it hits so fast that you're all I know. But now I see my future, feel the undertow. Now I want something else. I can't stay up on this shelf, your trophy one. Should we just be done? Because pleasing you is the wrong thing to do, but it's not easy to walk away from this. But I diminish if I stay. I've got to walk away. I've clutched and I've gripped, but my hands, they still slip, trying to hold on. I've held my tongue, let my dreams go unsung, but I need them, so I'll leave them. But before I say I do, because pleasing you is the wrong thing to do, but it ain't easy to walk away from this. But I diminish if I stay. I've got to walk away, because pleasing you is the wrong thing to do, but it ain't easy to walk away from this. But I diminish if I stay. I've got to walk away. I've got to walk away.
Yay! Beautiful. Oh, you're muted. Are you muted?
Am I muted?
Now you're not.
Muted. Hold on. I will switch over, but then I'm afraid there's going to be an echo because there was a weird echo before switching over. Is there a weird echo? You're all on, just so you know. Don't do anything crazy.
There's a weird echo just for us. But not for you.
That's our show. It was sweet. And I'm pretty sure on my song I messed up in the exact same places I did last time, so I've come nowhere in 2 months.
I didn't hear
it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. We're just not aware that that's the right way to do it.
That sounds great.
I'm also very willing to fail. All right. Well, the next book, I'm not sure when to do it because we've got, lots of holidays at the end of this month. And as Kyle pointed out, it's a long book, Dune. They were supposed to release the movie in December. And that's why I went crazy and was like, let's read a giant book during the holidays. And then they didn't. Because they're I'm not going to call them names, but they were too scared to deal with the holidays, and we are not. It might be like the first week of January, but then we also, Vonnegut is kind of a tradition for the Bushwick Book Club just everywhere to do Vonnegut. And so I think Dead-Eye Dick is our Vonnegut book for January. So I'm going to have to figure that out. So Dune is either going to be the first week of January and Vonnegut's going to be the last, and we're all going to be mighty, mighty impressive. But I don't think Dead-Eye Dick is that long. I'm not sure. I'll look. But
Yeah,
that's
Vonnegut reads that's easy. It's like
What'd you
potato.
say?
Oh, I said Vonnegut reads so fast. It's like having a thing of kids.
Yeah, it is, right? And one of my favorite songs I ever wrote was when a Vonnegut book for the Bushwick Book Club. I just had a moment of brilliance in my own mind, and I love Vonnegut. He's very inspiring for just creativity. All right, I'm not going to make you guys stay on the whole night. We can party offline. I'm going to disconnect us from the streaming. Good night, all. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this show of Dancers on the Shore by